Because, wow, I think only one page from there. Yeah, like I ever paid this down anyways.
Every meeting should start with yelling at John.
I agree.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Randall doesn't yell though.
Chair, yeah.
What's that? What's that?
This is what
Bren.
What?
We got a chair for you, buddy.
You're grown up now. You get to sit
I gotta pound my arm around.
Apparently.
it was either you or Tal, and Tal was, I guess, here to say no. We discussed it.
All right. Welcome to the What's Up with Catalyst panel seminar, whatever they're calling this these days. What's that?
Just what's up with Catalyst?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, panel, whatever they call it.
Battletech, Shadowrun, and Leviathan.
Soiree.
Soiree. Nice. Put that on a shirt.
Please come on in.
Catalyst.
Welcome.
Catalyst yearly gala.
There'll be a quiz later. All right. Thank you for showing up, guys. We really appreciate it. This is What's Up with Catalyst, and we're going to cover a lot of topics in a very short amount of time because it's about half what we used to do a long time ago. So we have a lot of things to go through tonight. So I'm going to start by talking about introducing everybody, talking about a couple things overall. We'll save questions to the end. And let's start with introducing the panelists up here. I am Lauren Coleman, owner of Catalyst Game Labs, and on my right is Randall Bills, managing developer. And there we go. This guy. On his right is Bryn Bills, Leviathan's developer. On his right, let's go the other way. On the left, Brett Evans, art director.
That's right. And nothing else.
Wait, did you lie to me?
Omitting truths.
On his left is Jason Hardy, who does something we recently accomplished. Shadowrun, right? Okay.
Which looks amazing.
And the only guy left up here is John Helfers, who does fiction.
I'm talking to Tommy Kaufman. Shut up.
He's not streaming yet, really?
Yeah.
So, thanks for, we'll have some fun with this. We'll answer questions later. And in the meantime, we're going to start with a few upfront announcements. Every year, I like to start with the any elephants that are in the room. This year, there's only really one that I can think of, which is Sprawl Ops. Am I missing anything? That's the big one. No, it's a big thing. It wasn't the ask. So, Sprawl Ops. If you're here because of Sprawl Ops, the Sprawl Ops Kickstarter campaign, I will make an announcement that right now. So, it did not go well. It did not go well.
Well, the campaign went well.
Campaign went well.
Distribution.
Fulfillment did not go well twice, which is really hard to say why you failed twice at one event, but they managed to do it. If you haven't heard the news about this, we ran a Kickstarter campaign for Sprawl Ops. It was wonderful, backed by a lot of wonderful people. And then it was a lot of late development and other things going on. It finally got to China. It then basically took a long time overseas. It was supposedly shipped. It didn't. It supposedly shipped again. It did. Came in. And then I think that's where most of our problems stopped and most of the problems outside of our control started. Things were shipped to some people.
But they were the wrong things.
Not. That was maybe partly our fault, but not always. Some games were shipped to people. Some people got Jarl for some reason.
Because they start with the same letter.
Yeah. Did you?
This is why you're the art director.
And then 896 people got shipped the main game again. And normally we would just would have said, well, that's going to be expensive, we'll just eat that and move on. And instead, they shipped so many extra copies, they blew through our entire margin of error, which we gave ourselves a 500 copy margin of error, and they overblew that by, or 400 copy margin of error, they blew it by over double. So, a lot of people didn't get shipments. Now,
Which people?
What's that?
Which people didn't get
European,
shipments?
so UPS I don't care about.
Foreign people.
Foreign people.
Apparently we have an issue there.
How much foreign people? I'm the only European here.
Now, I have been assured by our warehouse of fulfillment partners that everyone in this continent, I can't even say it, that everyone on this continent has been shipped their copy. If you live in America or Canada, you've received sprawl ops.
At least once.
At least once. So,
I cannot believe
is there anyone from this continent who wants to say that that is not true?
How about the line developer?
Okay.
Oh.
From Canada.
From Canada.
Come to the
Yes.
booth.
We had a couple of those.
We've heard that. So,
Come to the booth.
Come to the booth.
here's
Not joking. Come to the
yeah.
French Canada.
That's why.
If you have not got your copy from the U.S. or Canada, come by the booth tomorrow. We're going to take down your name and or back your name and hand you your copy if you would like it to have it right here, right now. Okay?
With all the extra.
What's that?
Even with all the extra.
Even with what? All the stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
All in one box.
Everything in one box plus the 5.6 expansion, which should basically get you caught up. Okay. There may be some. If you opt for any of the metal, we'll have to send that separately, I think. But we'll do the best we can, and then you'll be taken care of. So, obviously, there was a lot of problems with this Kickstarter, and that's our statement. We are making it right as fast as we can. We are reprinting 500 copies to help our foreign fans as fast as we can, and that's the best we can do. We can't do any better than that because it just takes time to print. After your warehouse mails out 896 extra copies that you weren't expecting, that is the fastest we can do.
And a full print run of the arm.
Yeah, that too. And a half, well, no, 500 copies, or 800, no, only 500 copies.
Oh, was it only 5?
I think so.
Only 5.
Only 500 copies. So, that's our statement on that particular matter. We will not answer any more questions on that one publicly. If you want to talk to me personally, feel free to come up after the panel or at the show later tomorrow or Saturday. Happy to talk to you personally about that. We want to get that one out of the way so we can focus on things that matter, like BattleTech.
Yes!
And the other game.
Two games.
And the other game.
And the other game. And fiction. Yes. Leviathans.
Other.
All right, so I'm going to turn this over now to someone else to talk, and we're going to start on the far left because who knows how long he'll talk about what he has loved for so long, Jason Hardy.
And you can talk as long as you want.
I can tell you,
As long as you want.
As long as it's less than 10 minutes.
we couldn't tell you had any margaritas at all.
No.
As long as you want, Jane.
That's right.
All right, so Shadowrun, if you didn't know, we have a new edition this year that we're very excited about. It comes in a regular flavor that I didn't bring, but it comes in a lovely limited edition.
You didn't bring the regular flavor?
I did bring the executive edition.
Wow, that's so perfect of you.
Slim
Suitable
case.
for paging through and drooling over.
Yes.
Very nice.
This is number 80 out of 500.
Is that Kevlar coated?
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it? We haven't shot bullets at
Say
it
we need to
yet,
hand some to
but the
Echo.
convention is young. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Lauren, hold this.
Did you not bring the standard because there's not enough copies?
Oh!
That is very possibly why I didn't, because it's really low. So we had a really good sales day on Shadowrun 6 World. We're very excited about it. It went way past any of my expectations. Brief elevator pitch on it. What we tried to do was make it more accessible, make it more simple, while also keeping it a robust role-playing game. So you still can make your gear do cool stuff. You still can have a full range of spell options. You could raid, you could summon spirits, you could do all the stuff you do in Shadowrun, but do it quicker and get to the awesome parts faster. So that's the goal of Shadowrun 6th World. We think we hit it. We're very much looking forward to the next few years of people playing it to see what they do with it, how they twist it around, and what additions we can make to it. So that's Shadowrun 6th World. I'll accept questions later. I don't have any more to say about it because I've been talking about it all day. It also comes in beginner box flavor. And since I just like showing stuff off, we'll show off
That's some amazing artwork.
the fine art. That's what I was about to say. I was gonna hype you by myself.
I love you, man.
It would have seemed more genuine. Now it seems forced.
It's okay. I'll take it. I'll take whatever.
Yeah. So character art for your Troll Street Samurai, your Elf Covert Ops Specialist. Why are you closing my box?
I was trying to put up here for
You're
next
very
week.
helpful. Your Orc Street Shaman. And I was going to show a map.
There's maps in there? That's
There's
cool.
maps in there. We've
bet
been
they look
using
amazing.
this Seattle poster map before because we love it. Looks like that, annotated with key locations in Seattle. There's an adventure in the beginner box. And there's your nice map size locations for it. So that is a beginner box. We also have other accessories to use when playing Shadowrun 6th World. Edge is a much more expanded mechanic in this version. You should be gaining edge and spending it rapidly. So we have edge tokens in the booth along with more dice because in Shadowrun you always need more dice. They're purple. They look like that. I don't think they can see them too much. But...
It's getting dark in here. I'm not sure you're getting that.
And then also available that I wanted to show off because I love them.
May I close the box now?
You may close the box now.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. The Neo-Anarchist Streetpedia. So if you need a reference work about key people, places, and things in the 6th World, this is it. It's got hundreds of topics, corporations, leaders of corporations, not leaders of corporations, places. And my favorite part of this book are the 100-word entries. There's something about forcing the writers to try to get as much information into 100 words as possible that made them really concise and really funny. There are great entries in there, and it's in that neo-anarchist style, so it's lively and fun to read. So, we also did a culture book recently that Lauren is playing with right now. Could you put
He
the
broke
cover
it.
back on, all the way on? Called No Future, a phrase that I forced into the title just because of its deep punk roots. And the cover was Echo Chernick coming up to us last year at GenCon saying, here's what I want to do. I want to do a cover where we have two layers. And one layer is the augmented reality version of the 6th World, and the other is the gritty, grimy, not augmented version. And we didn't think we could pull it off, but we said, we'll try, and look, we pulled it off. So there is your augmented 6th World. And when I say we, Echo Chernick pulled it off. She does incredible work for us. She's very enthusiastic, and we love seeing what she does. This is one of my favorites. There's other fun things in there. We had a lot of fun with layers. So you got your Combat Biker season preview, and then the overview of how the predictions went. So you can find out how the season went. There's a recipe for snickerdoodles in there, because I love snickerdoodles. A cookie recipe. When was the last time you got a cookie recipe in a Shadowrun book?
What could possibly go wrong?
But you overlay it, and it tells you how to use it in alchemy to charm people. So you can have charming cookies. So it's a really fun, immersive book, and I'm really fond of the way it turned out.
No, I think it's, as a writer, that has been so freaking amazing. I love that.
That is Shadowrun writer Jennifer Rosen telling us how much she loves it, and I'll return the compliment. We also have Nikita Red at the booth, her new novel for Shadowrun.
Oh.
Really fun, exciting read.
With an excellent looking cover.
Steal it right from John.
couldn't bring up the frame job fiction on the character, but no, it was just coming right off of Nikita Red. Yeah, thanks.
Well, I was going to let you talk about some fiction, but then I wanted to say nice things about Jen. Is
What
it
about
bad
this
that I
fiction?
said nice things about Jen? Is that a problem with you, John?
What's that?
All
Grudgingly
right.
accept.
I'm leaving that for John.
Are you?
I
Because it's in your
am.
bag.
I know. I never
Right
already had
here.
any. So
There
that's
could
what's
be
going on
thunder
with
storms.
Shadowrun. It's been a very, very crazy year, but it's been a great Gen Con so far. In fact, we hit all my goals for Gen Con already.
Do the force.
So I'm done.
Yay.
You fill in the Shadowrun part of the booth for the rest of the week. I'm just staying in bed.
You're retired.
For the record, Jason has not turned in his retirement letter yet.
Not yet. It's sitting in your
Yeah,
desk where you like to keep it.
You serve at the pleasure, right?
That's right. I do.
Randall?
It's right next to you.
All right.
Take it.
Hello.
Talk about art.
Goodbye.
Welcome. So for those of you paying attention out in Cyberland, you may have noticed a Kickstarter. Now we all know there may be some behind-the-scenes gambling here between the powers that be at Catalyst. Despite my best arguments, it turns out that the total sales for the Kickstarter do not actually count for sales at GenCon, therefore currently Jason's beating me. Not that I'm bitter.
By double, by the way.
By double.
Really, I haven't heard that. I'm
Throw
so
that
glad
in.
it came out in public.
I'm still waiting for final figures. It remains to be argued. I will say though, all jokes aside, Shadowrun came out looking amazing. 6th edition is fantastic. Even though they said we want you to assign one project, and actually we're taking the images and putting them across 3, so they kept adding things to it. So it actually looks like there's like 140 illustrations in Shadowrun SR6, but that's because they were put across multiple things. But they look amazing, and all jokes aside, the art core for Shadowrun.
Hold on. Finn, thank you for joining us. I appreciate Catalyst people being on time.
Future
Everyone,
art director,
Finn.
future line developer for Shadowrun, right there, Finn Hardy. Look at that. Capture the moment.
All right. Now, that's something important.
Not before hiring.
I think we can end there. Finn's here.
What's that?
Mic drop. Just Finn's here. Just that's it. Yeah, huge kudos to the artists that worked on Shadowrun because it really does look amazing. The passion that you guys threw out was awesome. I hope the fans are all enjoying it. You guys feeling love on the images?
Yeah.
Good.
I really went first.
Not just. I mean, look at the shirt.
I'm happy I win.
Oh, you are?
Jason's chest has never looked better.
We have an author who likes their cover.
And for those of you who walk by the booth, you'll notice there is a life-size troll for the first time ever at Catalyst, and I've been pitching that for 10 years. So, good stuff.
He has to make sure my next 2 BattleTech novel covers are as good as Iron Dawn.
And life-size.
Yes.
Life-size is now a thing, so we have raised the bar.
Okay.
So, speaking of Iron Dawn, here in BattleTech land, there is a lot of hot, cool, sexy things. Fiction is one of the biggest. You all know when I stepped in as line developer, I made a huge pledge that fiction was going to be driving the line, not source books. And I would just like to point out the beautiful face of my trusty minion, John Helvers.
Minion.
Whoa.
I mean roommate, John Helvers.
Not sure which is worse.
It's on you, whatever you want. But no, I mean, the amount of fiction that you guys are seeing showing up in the booth and selling out incredibly fast has been awesome. We are currently selling out of fiction faster than any other product in the line, which is amazing.
That's
Yeah, so
very cool.
so huge kudos to the author team, and of course the artists that are making it all look amazing. But the authors are doing good. And now to talk briefly on, we've got box sets, we've got map packs, we have battle mats, we have the core line books back in print as promised. We are delivering on everything that we had said when we said we were going to bring BattleTech back to the prominence. And the authors like Blaney Pardoe,
Who's right here?
and just so we're clear, Phil Lee, who released right alongside him, and of course all of us are competitive, so he's like, how are my sales next to Blaney Pardoe? How are my sales next to Blaney Pardoe?
They share a book. It's not a fair competition.
Hey, they're separate.
It doesn't matter. They're separate. So just know that both behind the curtain and in front of the curtain, we are all having an absolute blast working on BattleTech.
Hey, do you mind? Right there? Jennifer Brozek?
Did she have a bet going with Blaine?
No.
Not that I know of.
She has a book coming out.
She's not even aware they exist.
Wait, no, I will tell you that is not true. Every person who comes to my booth and says, there's new BattleTech stuff, I'm like, have you read Blaine Pardoe? Have you gone to 1611?
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
no.
It's a wonderful team. And actually, even Jennifer was commenting earlier that, like 2 years ago, I really did lock the authors in the room and refused to let them out until they came to an agreement on what to do. So
He did. It was
I
not
hope
fun.
you're all enjoying.
Yes.
And mad props to Sarna, because best wiki ever.
Oh God, yes.
Except there's a formatting that
Yeah.
needs to be fixed.
Every
Talk to
single
Nick right there.
member of the creative team, for those of you that don't know, I know the fans love Sarna.net, but the creative team is on Sarna.net every day. So huge kudos to Nick. Thank you, man. You and your team do an awesome job. In addition to that, for those of you that know, if you walk anywhere near the miniature section, the Camel Specs team for Battletech has been going nuts. They are delivering amazing paint jobs, both with the old miniatures and the new. There was a huge effort in the new design of the sculpts that you're seeing in the current box sets, in the prototypes for the clan box sets for the Kickstarter, and everything else going on there of designing paint jobs that are going to be user-friendly for new fans. Paint jobs that will work well with the sculptors. The sculptors are actually making sure they're adding seams in at the depth proper to keep the paint separated. All those little details, including the Piranha Graphics decals, for those of you who are watching, like making sure that those images are coming through with all the decals and detailing that really brings this game to life. Every step of this process, every member of the team, inside and out, is working amazingly hard and just shooting the moon. So thank you all for your support. We have the core rulebooks in print. We have the new tech manual in print in the booth. Total Warfare reprint is in the booth. We've got your core books. We've got the technical readouts now, both the Succession Wars and the Clan Invasion area in there. Alpha Strike Commander's Edition is in the booth. The cards that go along with it and the and the technical readouts are also there. So come see Noah, our giant, awesome elemental friend, and support Battletech for all that you're worth. And let us know if there's anything else that you need along the way. Sound good?
Yep.
Yay! It all looks amazing.
Okay. All right. So,
How did I do on time, by the way?
you were 7 seconds under Jason.
Yes! I win.
All right.
How many bets are going on?
You never know.
They overlap.
All right. And so,
The only way that
We need to start doing that now.
Play.
He's like, there's a bet on the number of bets. I'm like, we must start doing that right now.
all right. So, as you may have noticed, we may have put out some information on a big giant banner that something is happening. And to get exactly 2 minutes and 22 seconds, Brent, what do you got?
That's such a great question. Obviously, I practiced this beforehand because I knew I was going to be up here
That's right.
doing this. But yeah, obviously the big exciting news is that we're going to be putting back out Leviathans after all these years.
Yay!
Yeah, we are like stupidly excited about all of this. Obviously, it's heard every year as, you know, we get someone that come up to us and is like, okay, when it's going to come out soon, Ryan? I'm like, yeah, just around the corner. We're almost there. And finally, we have the banner. We are moving forward on this. The plan is then that next year, about summertime, we will be launching a Kickstarter for it. Very much in the same vein that we have just done the Battletech Kickstarter. We are starting to get things rolling on for it. Trying to figure out exactly how we want to put it out now, making some changes to make it the best game that we can possibly give it. But yeah, we're just really excited to be able to announce that. I'm not sure I have a whole lot else to say on the subject at this time.
You have 1 minute 20 seconds, so keep talking.
I got 1 minute 20 seconds. All right. So,
Tell us about the expansions.
What's the Great War?
yeah. So obviously it does have a subtitle there, The Great War. We hope to be able to, as it comes out, to be able to launch all of the factions instead of just the 2 that came with initially. So all of the major players of World War I. All of the different, we want tons of ships to be able to available on all the different sides, so it's not just you have to play with the same minis, a whole bunch of them on your side as you've been doing for all of these years. So just want to be able to give as much experience as we can to everyone that's been waiting so long to be able to get this. And I'm just gonna...
No, you got 39 seconds. Keep
I've
Are
going.
got
there any
40
events for Leviathans?
Yes! Tomorrow night. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Thank you.
He set it up in advance. He told me to see it.
Yeah, exactly. See, it worked out. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock over in our area of the minis hall, we will be actually having all of the different factions and a giant game that we're going to be playing to be able to obviously get people to be able to experience that, as well as to getting playtesting feedback back, as most of these factions haven't been played with a lot yet. So this will be an experience for everyone to have that opportunity to see what we've been doing, prepping up for this Kickstarter.
That sounds amazing. Is there any fiction?
Yes, but luckily we're not quite there yet to talk about it. So, of course.
I don't want to steal any thunder.
Yeah,
here.
no, absolutely.
Well played, sir.
So it's 11 seconds. Keep going.
11 seconds.
Say thank
And you what?
you. So say thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. You are all the best for waiting.
3 seconds. Keep
Yes.
All right. And then for all things not true, John Helfers.
Yay!
You're gonna go to Randall for Christ's sake. You three get up. We're done. Let's go. Actually, fiction did have a really banner year this year. Release of new books, stories, and everything in BattleTech and Shadowrun. Little rogues gallery right here. I would love to show you Forever Faithful, Blaine's novel about the wrap-up of the Dark Age and the creation of a certain clan that everyone always wanted to know what happened to, but we sold out of the copies today. So it's now hopefully more will be coming in tomorrow. However, we do have Jen's Iron Dawn. It's the first in our YA trilogy for BattleTech, a very grim and gritty and fairly high, well no, book 2 has a higher body count, doesn't it?
Spoilers. Yes.
You just ruined it. Yeah, people die in battle. Like, ooh, I better sit down.
Right there.
There it is!
There
Look,
it is.
James!
Get it.
Yay!
Yeah, I was gonna say, get him!
Focus on the cover art! Sorry.
I need Jason or Randall or me.
Oh, we're so sorry we didn't do your work for you.
So let's go through this real quick. Thank you so much, by the way. So yes, Iron Dawn by Jen Brothik, again, our YA trilogy. Currently working on Ghost Hour Book 2, where the blood gets bloodier and the mechs get
I didn't kill that many
meckier.
people in that book.
No, you're right. You're just setting it up. Redoubtable Phil Lee edited volume 7, Killzone. Did a fantastic job. There's also a brand new story by Travis Heerman, who was nominated for but did not win the Scribe Award. I think he got gypped, by the way.
I agree.
The story was fantastic. But this is awesome. Who do we got in here, Phil? Real quick. Who do we have in here?
Oh, let's see.
Not Blaine, I know that.
You could read the Caleb.
Oh, hurtful!
So we have
He is.
Adam Sherwood, Kevin Killiani, someone named Blaney Pardo. What's that? Craig Reed Jr., Travis Heerman, Jason Schmetzer, Stefan A. Frabertolo, known as Frabby, some people, Jason Hansa, and Lance Scourge.
Yeah, it's the best of 2010, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our latest in our Battle Core anthologies. Phil edited, did a really great job. I gotta give that back to that gentleman over there at some point. And then this one, yes. And I think we're on 2. So a few years back, we got Mr. Stackpole. We got Mike Stackpole to write a kind of a 3-part novel that showcased the beginning of the Kellhounds, from when this is named Morgan and his brother, whose name is escaping me, Patrick Kell,
Really?
stepped onto the planet and founded
What's the brother's name?
Patrick. Anyways, and we are pleased to have these debuting here in paperback. Unfortunately, Amazon has screwed me, and the copies I was supposed to get.
No, we got all the copies. They simply sold out really, really fast.
There's still going to be more tomorrow, hopefully.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
If the ones that are showed up today, hopefully Michael's will show up tomorrow. We are doing, however, signings for those who did pick them up. Mike will be signing tomorrow at 12 to 1 and Saturday at 12 to 1 at our Catalyst booth.
But either way, this book can be found on eBay tomorrow at like $100.
For those who did not pick it up here, you can order it from Amazon in both ebook and hard copy. No, I'm sorry, just a hard copy because the novellas are selling well on their own. As for Shadowrun, we had a lot of good stuff here too.
You're using time, right?
No. I don't need
He's
too
just
much
using
time.
Randall's time.
I have a lot to talk about. I haven't got to audio yet.
Yeah.
Oh, good. He's just talking about that.
Settle in, Coleman. Settle in. Anyways, Shadowrun is also.
Here, have it.
I think we had this one. I think we had this last year. But Sprawl Stories Volume 1, 4 novellas: Jen Brozik, Dylan Bertolo, R.L. King, and some guy named Rusty Zimmerman. Really good stuff in here. New cover. Dak did such a great job with this cover. I love it. And also the novels too. Again, Makita read. Both of these are available at the store. The enigmatic Kai O'Connell is back. Got the manuscript on us a couple months ago. I said, well, we read it.
Is
Had
he
to
going
put
to
it
show
out.
up finally?
Huh?
Is he going to show up?
No, he's a
No?
jerk. I don't like him.
I think I heard from him last year. He was in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
So this
That's
guy
not
runs
nice.
around. He writes books and he travels the world. We don't
That's
know
not
where
what
he's going to
you
pop in
told
next.
me. I know where he is.
Kyle, come.
You, Josh.
I
Well,
think I
okay.
know
Well,
where
then
he
where
is.
is he?
Where
I can't
in
tell
the
you
world?
that.
All right,
Man
you have
of
to be a
mystery.
liar. Anyways, the books are fantastic. The art is great. So come by. We do have these. And then, because Randall likes making me suffer more than Lauren does sometimes.
No.
About I think it was what, April? You first got this idea?
Yeah, it was April.
Yeah. April.
that's right.
Let's see, about 3 months before the box set, the beginner box set dropped.
Get that.
And he comes to me and says, "Hey, we're doing these new characters for Shadowrun. Let's do some interlinked novellas about these characters and have them go on a run together." I said, "Well, that's great. There's 5 because the rigger Emu is online." And I said, because I'm an idiot, "Well, gee, that's great to have 5, but we really should have 6, 1 for each character, and then the wrap-up novella." And he's like, "Yeah, go." I'm like, "Oh shit, what have I done?" And we needed that done by Origins, or tried to, so when the box set dropped. And thankfully, I have a great crew, including Jason Schmetzer, some guy named Hardy who wrote something for me,
Dylan.
Dylan Bertolo, Brooke Chang, CZ Wright, and Brian C.P. Steele, who all came together in really, really, really tight deadlines.
An amazing cover artist.
Yeah, some guy. Actually, who was the artist? It was Derek Poole.
Derek Poole.
And yeah, which is based on these, which are tremendous. They're only available in ebook. I was hoping to have an actual omnibus, which is coming out before the end of the year. We're going to do it's called The Frame Job. Parts 1 through 6 are all available at all ebook sales places, and we're going to have an omnibus of that coming out later this year. Really proud of it. Introduces all these characters, gives them a lot of room to grow, and sent them on a pretty kick-ass adventure too. And Mr. Hardy here did the penultimate called Retribution, the penultimate novella, which is he did a fair job. He did a fair job.
It was the last one, not the penultimate.
What?
The ultimate.
The ultimate.
Second
Ultimate.
last.
All right. Maybe there's gonna be part 7. I don't know. But anyways,
I
last
need
year
7 more of those.
in 3 weeks.
In 3
Yes.
weeks.
So last year, one of the questions you guys asked me was, when are the books coming out on audio? And I hope most of you at least know we've started inching towards that goal. The first one released was the book that I'm totally blanking. on. Embers of War. Embers of War was Dragonlance? Jesus.
Not Dragon.
Battletech, which came out in spring, did very well, and then we put out Fire and Frost, which blew me out of the water with the Shadowrun fans coming to get it, and that did in 3 months what it took Embers of War 9 months to sell through. So more audio is coming. I don't think Kevin, are you here? Kevin Zarnecki? No, Kevin didn't show up. Kevin's recording his own book Crimson for Shadowrun right now. So we just had a nice talk about it. It's about 2/3 done, and I have Forever Faithful. It should be wrapped up pretty soon. I got to talk to our audio person. So that's the next battle cycle we're doing. But we're going to put them all out. And also, for those of you who are wondering, we are also doing we have Decision to Thunder Rift by Bill Keith. One of the first books is back in trade paperback edition.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm excited by that one.
And also, we have the Warrior Trilogy of Mike Stackpole, the first freaking books the guy sold, for God's sake, and which are phenomenal. Also in trade paper, and again, Mike will be signing those. Those copies we do have copies of. So I think that's about it. Oh, Leviathans, yes. Of course, because we love fiction so much, and we do. There will be a Leviathans anthology. Right now, the authors that are actually appended in stories are Bill Keith, Harry Turtledove, and S.M. Sterling. And some guy named Blaine Pardo. Yeah. And someday I'll read it. So we're looking forward to bringing that out, and we will robustly support it with more fiction as well. So if you like, it's just an ad. If you like your 19th century flying ships and caps and all sorts of stuff, I think you're going to like what we're going to do with Leviathan. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think I'm done now, sir. Yep. Thanks very much, folks, and thank you for supporting the fiction. We really appreciate it.
I have no idea what I'm going to talk about.
Oh, God, you done talking?
Pico.
Yes,
Okay.
he's finally done talking.
I thought it was going to go forever.
You did.
I like the fact that fiction
You
editor-
won. You won.
I like the fact that fiction
Damn
editor
right.
did not even
Not much to
mention
talk about.
the brand new groundbreaking thing we do with fiction, which is we actually have a fiction serial running in Game Trade Magazine. That after all that, he didn't even mention the GTM serial. So way to go.
Someone kept cutting me off with time.
That's what it was.
You
It was a 3-part story written by Jennifer Proza as well.
put him 5-part story.
5-part, sorry, 5-part series. Yes, you're right. That's true.
Do you even like read this stuff?
Occasionally.
You get a shot caller next year.
Okay, so
I don't think you get to make that. Just
what? Oh,
You even read this stuff? No, you don't. You don't get to read to make that joke.
Yeah, I have a question based on it.
Yeah,
I have a whole question based
Yeah,
on
we do.
it. So,
you're like somebody named. So actually, every time we start one of these, so you can tell we're a little slap happy. Like today was
a long day.
unbelievably awesome, and thank you all so much. Getting to GenCon is always we call it the death march. Around, you start planning it. Literally in January, you're already having to start talking about GenCon. And sometimes you're even late if you're starting then. And then by May, you've already been working really hard, but then it starts spinning up. And then by like June and July, cons are being thrown in and you're just going at it like crazy. This was one of the hardest we had ever had, and then we decided to throw a Kickstarter in there just for extra fun.
To soak up the downtime.
To soak up the downtime. And again, once again, as I said in the my thank you video, I was very confident that we would do $1 million because I have seen over the last 2 years the excitement, and it started out in the year at Adepticon, and it carried on to Origins and online, and there is this wonderful feeling of resurgence around BattleTech. And so I felt very confident we'd get there. I was thinking we'd get there at the end, not in 4.5 days, and then it's still just going and going. In fact, I was just looking at it. In fact, last night I was making updates to the website and sending fiction out that you guys deserve, and so it's been amazing.
Real quick, out of curiosity, how many people here have backed the Kickstarter?
Oh,
Wow.
Thank you.
I love you guys.
But I love getting here, and I was talking with the demo agents as well, that there's such this wonderful sense of like, I recognize almost every person in this room that I've seen year after year after year, and some of you for way longer than, and then in the back of my mind where I remember I think it was in this convention, like 9 or 10 years ago, or in this one of these rooms 9 or 10 years ago, I still have this memory of, and I can't remember what it was about, and Blaine's yelling out like, "Screw you!" and I was like dying laughing.
Wolverines.
Yeah, and that's what it was. And so you have these wonderful stories that we all share when we all get together, and it's just like coming home to a family every year, and that's fantastic. So obviously the Clan Invasion Kickstarter, I got on the plane and was ready to maybe pretend that I could sleep for a little while, and instead, after a while, Brent was laughing because I'd lost my pen somehow, and I'm writing notes with a giant marker, and he's like,
He's over with a Sharpie on the little bitty tray table that holds down. And the piece of paper he's writing on is like the scrap that he found. It's twice the size of the table, but he's trying to jot down all of his notes on a Sharpie while the plane. God, it was hysterical.
So he got me a pen because, of course, there's just you guys unlocked so much amazing for that Kickstarter. And so it was just this spew of data as I'm like, okay, I got to put this together, this schedule, and this. And so.
Yeah, words you never really hear. Thank God it's GenCon. Maybe I can get some sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I just been on the plane. Just on the plane. A couple hours on the plane.
You said the words, man. You need to own them.
And then Shadowrun itself, I was able to offer Jason what help he needed to get that out. And again, thank you. We have the reception on that has been just amazing. And I fell in love with this universe from the very beginning. BattleTech is always my true love. Been playing that for way too long than I care to admit.
So Shadowrun's your dirty secret?
Shadowrun's the dirty secret.
Yeah.
Shadowrun's the...
For him.
For me.
Don't look at
yeah. And then, of course, Leviathans. My son talked about that. So there's just so much amazing stuff coming on. And each of these, it kind of feels like unlocks the next part. Getting to where we are with the Clan Invasion first required us to do the 2 previous box sets. And now we're getting to do Leviathans because of where we've gotten on the BattleTech side. And there are all these great pieces that are finally starting to fit together really well. We also have Dragonfire. For those who love Dragonfire, I apologize. After 6 and 9 months of Shadowrun and then the Clan Invasion Kickstarter, something had to give, and it had to be Dragonfire. So we actually have quite a few amazing new products.
Dragonfire fans. Yeah, you owe them.
Yeah.
All right.
If you haven't seen it yet, you can go in the 4 display glass cases. On one of them, in the bottom, the whole thing is about future product that we have coming, and you'll see some mock-ups on the bottom. We have Solo Play, a wonderful expanded version of that, and that includes a really enhanced version of 2-player. And then we have the Waterdeep box set, and because I always try to cram more in, it's like significantly larger than what we did with Moonshade. The Paladins are in there, and it's just got some amazing stuff in there. Yeah, Lauren cries every time I come back to him, and I'm like, I just put 20 more cards in this thing. So, and then we have the Heroes of the Underdark, as well as an Undermountain adventure, and then we're going into the Underdark full on with a couple more adventures. So we have lots of great stuff coming for that. I appreciate your patience, but just something had to give in the schedule, and this time around it just had to be some Dragonfire. So we kind of pushed it downstream a little bit, but we got a lot of great stuff coming for that. We have some other games. Pico is for those that played in like the Duke, our kind of abstract 2-player game. We have a Pico, which is another wonderful 2-player game. And the guy who made it actually built it off of the game that Iroh always plays in Avatar. And so, of course, we couldn't do that because that's what I would love to be able to do.
Which is called?
Well, I said Pico. Didn't I say Pico?
The
I
one
know,
Avatar.
Based
Oh,
Pico.
you let them off the hook easy.
I was getting there. And he actually made he actually made a wonderful version of that. It was a great little game. So we have that coming out at the end of the year. We're working on a new reskin of the Duke called Daimyo. That introduces several new elements, very similar to what we did with the Jarl. So exact same game mechanics, but it'll play wonderfully different, and then you can take it against the others. We have a couple of other great games that are even further downstream if we can ever find the time to get around to them. So we're always looking for new great stuff that we're doing. And I think, and then at the end I have, here we have Kickstarter flyers for both of them. I would love everyone to grab one, and if you already know about it, that's awesome. Hand it to somebody that you think would want to know about it. And we stealthed out the relaunch of Monsters in the Sky for the Leviathan fans in the room.
That's the website.
That's the website. It was active many years ago, and it's active again, and we'll be blogging up there monthly about various developments and playtesting. Bren did forget to mention that we are always open for new playtesters, so if anyone feels that they're up for it, you can go up on that site and just contact us, and I've got a Dropbox link full of a whole pile of files, and I'll dump it all over you to have you come and help us. So, should I just keep talking? And
Yeah.
No, I think once you hit Dropbox, that's really the cutoff.
Oh, is that just because you don't like Dropbox?
I know.
And I think that's about it. So again, we just can't do this without you guys. You allow us to do the Death March and to be here and to have a blast and to make crap up and have a blast doing it with you guys. So we really appreciate that. So we'll wrap that up and then kind of head into question time.
Actually, let me do my quick yearly poll here. Just I always like to know who's in the room. Shadowrun fans. Awesome. Battletech fans. Wow, awesome. Leviathan fans. Sweet.
Awesome.
Dragonfire fans, just I saw you earlier, but let me see real quick. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Other games we make that didn't include any of those titles. I'm thinking like the Duke and other things. Okay, yeah.
Valiant!
So, ouch.
Ouch.
Cosmic Patrol.
I think I said it before, but Kickstarter backers. Now, leave your hands up real quick. Kickstarter backers. Now, other people that has not backed us, but are Kickstarter people that like to be on Kickstarter that have not backed us. So we have some work to do. Cool. That's actually very valuable information for us. Thank you. We want to reach out to everybody. So, anything else we want to do from quick hand pulls?
I don't think so.
Did I miss anything? Fiction fans, right? John. Okay,
Nice.
sweet. That's good to know.
Thank you.
Yes. The authors, thank you.
All right, that's time, Lauren.
What's that? Yeah. Anything? I still don't miss something. All right, so we have 10 minutes for questions. Thank you for that. Really, guys, that really helps me to know. And every year it varies a little bit, but nice to know that we're still pulling a good group of people from every single category. That really is helpful. So let's move right to 10 minutes of questions and see if that spawns anything else. Now put your hand down. No, over here.
Is there any chance we're going to see Stephen Mohan's A Bonfire of Worlds in our print on demand as opposed to just ebook?
John?
I'm glad you asked that. Actually,
It's a one-word answer, dude. Yes, sir.
I'm glad you asked that.
I know.
Sir. To expound on it. Yes.
There we go.
Matter of
Yay!
fact,
You heard it.
The corrected version, not because of Steve, Steve's an awesome writer, but the proofed version is going to go to DAC for layout when I get back from GenCon. I hope to drop it next month. Actually, this month in August, if I'm lucky. But next month at the latest.
And we have another question right here, right?
So I'll give you two, and you can pick one. What's going on with Ilclan since it didn't come out yet? Or what are you going to do about all those names and pictures from the Kickstarter?
Actually, I'll ask the first. Answer the first one. You want the second one, or you want me to take both?
He said we could pick one.
All right.
Least pain.
What's up with Ilclan? First off, great question. It's funny. You guys remember a couple years ago when we all showed up and Jason's description of Shadowrun was Dragonfire. The honest truth is we've had a brutal year, no doubt. And we went right from launching SR6 to trying to dive into the Clan box set Kickstarter. And when all was said and done, no joke, I was broken. And Randall said, dude, even if you can get everything across the finish line, there's no layout guys. Our layout guys are all completely tied up. We couldn't get this to print on time if we tried to get this here. So it is absolutely in the works. There is a wonderful twist with regard to Ilclan. It turns out if you turn out anything fiction-wise in Battletech and you send it directly to John without running it through Lorne and Randall first, at some point those two are going to want to dip their fingers in, which ends up being a really positive thing. I just wish we'd learned it sooner so we could have just crapped out like a really rough draft and send it. But it's all good. Ultimately, everybody wants their fingers in because of how many ramifications this will, the reverberations will hit all the way across the inner sphere. It is absolutely happening. It's going to take a little bit longer because we, frankly, got distracted with the client box sets. But that said, it's going to be a much better product because of it when everybody dives in. Because as of this morning, I was talking to Mike Stackpole about making sure that he knew what was going on there so he could tie in some of the threads with some of the things he was going on to do other fiction that wraps into what Blaine has planned. We were talking about to John Helfers. We were talking to these two guys that turns out they have some interest in Battletech.
And an idea or
so
two.
Everything that we do will kind of spin out of what's happening here. It's going to be the big event that Ilclan always should have been. And I guess the takeaway is, yes, we missed GenCon, but the benefit is we didn't just punt anything out the door to hit the deadline. It is going to be worthy of the fans when it hits you.
So is 2019 a possibility, or is it 2020 for sure?
I'm going to expect 2020 simply because of what we've seen with production coming out of China and anywhere else that prints stuff.
That's what I figured. Just
So, yeah. Second one was...
He said pick one, so next question. Duke Bixby.
He
can't avoid
just
me
tell a
forever.
story.
I could try.
Let me just tell a story. Do not ask this man to send you names of people to include in fiction. He thinks it's Tinder. So he sends me pictures of strange men.
I hear that's what you like.
I can answer
Now I
that
have a
too.
question.
You sent me the number. I have an entire planet that I'm about
Now I
to
want to go to Bixby. Please, Jake, do something.
I can name them.
So now that Randall is obligated to finish the founding of the Clans trilogy.
Yeah! That took like 2 minutes tops.
Thank you for that.
Can we finally get back to our proud tradition of beating up on the Compelling Confederation?
Not the Bounty of the Clans trilogy, obviously. That's a stretch.
More seriously, I'm going to take his question about the characters on the Kickstarter, because that is a big list, right?
I would give that one to John, but we'd never get out of here. So I'm just going to say that we will be asking for some information soon. Once Kickstarter is over, we'll have a plan for collecting names, information from every character that we have basically had back us on Kickstarter, and then we'll deal that. We'll send that to John. That is John's problem. But yes, we are going to.
Okay,
We're
very
gonna
short
collect
book, The
information.
Honored Roll of the Dead. There you go.
So
You stole my idea.
we're gonna find a way to make that work. We are committed to that. It may take us a while, but everyone's gonna get some good screen time. Right there.
PDF of everyone who
Yeah,
left the Starleague
this
Defense
is only-
Force.
This is only half serious, but is there any chance of an urban mech plushie?
But I'll give you a half serious answer. Yes.
Of all the crazy stretch goal ideas we've had over the last month, that's
stretch goal.
really calm, actually.
Yeah.
We've come up with some crazy stuff.
Are you kidding? That'll put it over 2 million in a week.
All right.
God, he's not wrong.
Other questions? Other questions? Anyone? Come on, help us out here. I know you guys have questions. I mean, all right.
What's with all the stuffed animals at the booth?
So we took basically the Redmond Barons of the cattle's booth, and that area has never really done well for us. We haven't done well decorating it or demoing it from there. So our plan was to just turn that into some usable space and keep the demos focused up front. And so we made a plan a little while ago to simply take that little stretch and turn over to another. I have a retail, 3 retail stores, and we've been doing shows for a couple of years now. Excuse me. So we thought we'd just do something with that for this year and focus on the front of the booth. And you may have noticed that half our demo area then went away. That happened yesterday. So it made for a very lopsided demo arrangement. So that's what happened with that. We did turn over intentionally to one of my other businesses just because we didn't have a strong plan for that this year.
Okay.
So that's why. And we thought you guys might like to look at some pretty soft, fleshy things.
Oh, my daughter thought they were cool. So.
See? That's exactly why. Right back there.
All the new plastics that are being redesigned.
Yep.
Will Iron Man be able to do those in metal?
Woohoo!
Love
Yes. There will. Yes. Actually, they will be. They may
mainlining coffee.
They may have. They may have different poses or other differences. They're trying not to copy us exactly because we want to give you guys some variety. But yes, they plan on taking those mechs and doing fun stuff with them as they are able to do. As they are able to do so, because they must take our digital sculpts and then take it to their side and do it differently. So the short answer is yes, that they're working on it.
It's understandable why we didn't see them in these box sets because of lack of the appropriate rules, but are there any plans for redesigned classics for quads like the Goliath and the Scorpion?
I'll take that one. Yes, there are.
Yes.
Now, admittedly, the Goliath and the Scorpion have one key flaw with regard to plastics that go into sets for retail, and it's that they don't fit on a hex. That said, we will be redesigning them. Those things will happen. I just can't promise that they'll be in plastic.
We're making bigger hexes.
I presume the same
Back there.
Chaos Heavies.
And a mech warrior on them.
Yes.
Gaming got beat up pretty bad in the last 20, 30 years. Is there any chance they're going to see a resurgence?
Who's that? Sorry, David.
Davian, House Davian got beat up pretty bad. Is there any chance they're going to see any kind of resurgence?
Yes.
Really? You really feel David's been put upon in battle?
I mean, we've cheated them for way too long.
Something about
Got
the
knocked off a
capital
horse.
being occupied.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Right here.
Never Chris in charge.
Is the dropship on Kickstarter the Iron Wind dropship?
They are doing a special. They're going to do a special run for us under our logo as well for that. Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
It's a great. It's a really a beautiful piece of work. Once you get it all assembled and paid up, it just looks so good sitting on the map.
Is there anything you guys can tell us about Mech Warrior Destiny?
It's in progress.
What would you like to know?
The writing is almost done. The art is being assembled by some
3/4 of the way.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah, it's actually we were hoping to have a POD version here at the show to show off like where it's at, but we didn't quite make that. So it's actually pretty close.
One of the most exciting things about Destiny is there will be a section in there specifically to help the people that aren't really RPG players, but they want a little bit of RPG added to their tactical game to do just that.
Perfect.
So
Could we be seeing a quick start rules like before the end of the year?
Randall.
Just a sec.
A beta version? Randall says we're releasing a beta version to like our Kickstarter backers, but you know, that's on him.
Before the end of the month, you guys, anyone who backed it will have a beta of the whole book.
There we go. That was actually a pretty good answer. I like that.
And I like that it was uncomfortable, and I'm not quite sure if we'll be able to deliver it.
So, about
John just has
Mark.
12 more
Right.
stories by August 15th.
All right.
So one of the common stretch goals in the Kickstarter was like the pilot cards.
The what?
The pilots, like the special pilots on the back of the cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that going to be just fluff, or is there going to be game effect to the pilots?
So it'll be exactly the premium. So there's 2 pilot cards.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm totally feeling.
No, you take this one.
There's 2 pilot cards. One are the pilot cards that are exactly like what's in the beginner box set in a game of Armored Combat, which is just almost complete stats on both sides. We are then doing premium versions where the one side is exactly like that. It's still stats and actual put it on the table and play. It's just then going to have a glory shot of if you did backed high enough to get art, it'll then be, again, a great example, if you haven't been by the booth, is go look at the NPC cards for Shadowrun.
Okay.
Those cards and that art came out of the Sprawl Ops backers. And so it's the exact same thing. See that all that gorgeous art of the character, that's the type of thing that'll be unfolding for the BattleTech guys, and that'll be on the back of your card that happens to then have the game stats on it.
Now, no one has interrupted us at the door, and we're a bit over time. I saw a few more questions. We'll answer those and do some final comments. Let's go back there till they kick us out.
Sprawl Gangers coming out?
Yeah.
Actually, every time we have a big success in these minis, that is a yes. Leviathans is now the next one. Secretly in the back of my mind, I had been hoping that the year after that, 2021, we would then actually be able to bring Sprawl Gangers, because it was 90% done. It needed one really good last play test, but I think it still would make an amazing game, and hopefully we'll get there.
So
but
plastics, we discovered along the way that plastics are really hard. And obviously, because they are really hard. The reason why they're really done well on Kickstarter is because it helps you cover the cost that plastics are crazy expensive. We almost killed ourselves going too big too soon on plastics, and Sprawl Gangers would have been, I think, one of those final nails in our coffin if we really had chased that before we were ready. BattleTech is teaching us what we need to know to make better plastics on a better schedule.
With the right partners.
Yeah. So there's a lot we've learned along the way, which meant Sprawl Gangers has been waiting patiently, just like Leviathans was waiting patiently for us to figure this out. We are getting it figured out because now Leviathans is back and that kind of stuff is moving forward. So, and we'll be watching for more. As you see us do some more Shadowrun miniatures, which from the current miniatures pack, we are very likely to do because the reception has been wonderful. As we do more, some more Shadowrun miniatures to support the role-playing game, that gives us one more step closer.
Yep.
So we will not. We have figured out not to do it till we are ready, and because we do not want to. We don't want to face plant on that one. And we were about to, I think, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was.
6 years ago.
All right, whatever. Any more questions before we do some final comments? Yeah.
Obviously, with the Clan Invasion Kickstarter, we're getting a lot of new redesigns of some mechs that we haven't really seen for a very long time.
Right.
And I am a huge tech readout geek, and I'm kind of wondering if, when we may see the redesigns in a tech readout.
We absolutely will. You want to?
Just say yes. Just say yes and let it go.
But then he won't know when.
But he doesn't. That's what's best about that answer.
When we have art to put in the yes.
I think there was
Way
one
back
last
there,
question
please.
back there.
I know that you guys are projecting to have the BattleTech invasion box out in like March of next year. That's kind of what the schedule looks like.
Yep.
Do you have any ballpark projections on when you'll have all the minis completed and ready to go?
We are working with the artists and with the digital sculptor people we're working with to get them to accelerate that schedule. There's been a couple meetings before and here at GenCon. By the time, I would say within the next week or two, we'll be firming that schedule up. Randall's saying, at this point, a year and change. I think it'll get to be a lot faster, but we're not ready to say when. My personal goal would be to hope we can fulfill the second wave and the final wave of this somewhere near or before next GenCon. I think we can do it. I think if we get lucky, we can do it in 9 months, but we will not rush it for the sake of rushing it.
This is Lauren announcing that he's going to be taking a 3D sculpting class.
We've got some good indications we can speed up the process, but not if quality is going to suffer. Okay, so we're hoping so. But we'll know more in the next few weeks and the next few months. We'll have a much better schedule and be able to announce something about that. All right, any final questions?
Where's Anthony at? Last time I talked to him, he was really excited about going to GenCon.
I don't know.
He's coming.
Is
he?
All right, good.
He's coming.
Okay.
All right.
He's not here yet.
Okay.
TRO, Succession War, Clan Invasion.
Yes.
Is that all the further you wanted to go with reorganizing, or are you planning to keep going
We'll plan to keep
with
going.
the areas?
We'll keep going.
Okay.
Civil War 2020.
Something like that.
Let's say that for now.
Okay.
All right.
I think
Any
we're good.
final Shadowrun, Leviathan questions? We did a lot of BattleTech, but you guys are just that happy with Shadowrun 6th edition. You have no questions whatsoever. You're all fine.
Nope, it's amazing.
So
What's
next books for Shadowrun?
What's the next book for Shadowrun?
Yeah.
Next book, so we will have a PDF adventure called Free Seattle coming out in September, and then we'll have a plot source book called Cutting Black. If you saw some of the videos we put up on the website, that will give you some previews about what's happening in that book. Some very major developments coming to the Sixth World, and there will be a campaign book called 30 Nights that will build on the events of Cutting Black. Then we'll have a combat source book. It's well underway. I don't have a title because every title I throw up gets rejected. So if you have a title for a combat book, call me.
All right, and for the final word tonight, Finn, stand up, please. Finn. So, last to arrive, last words, go.
I'm so sorry.
All right.